Every fiber in my being wanted me to not hit this record button today. But look what I decided to do. Alright, good way to start the reading. So, gosh, that threw me off. Yeah, this reading is definitely going to be one for me. I have been in a weird energy lately. Both good and bad, just strange. Things are overwhelming, aren't they? But everything, I'm supposed to do a reading on Sundays. Every Sunday is a reading. And that's the goal I want to stick to. And it is 2 hours before my shift at work. And I was like, oh, I should be doing that. I really want to do that, even though I don't want to do that at all. It was hard to get out of bed this morning. And what hit the table first but one of my favorite cards, the Eight of Swords. You gotta love it when the cards do their thing. It's a little overwhelming right now, isn't it? Just everything, you know? I don't know. It's, we're all so connected, but not connected at all, you know? Who here feels like they've made some lasting connections recently? Or maybe I'm just projecting and that's how I see the world right now. But regardless, I think that's more of a personal shortcoming if I feel like that, you know? Things are overwhelming, but we are the ones that have the blindfold on still, even when we could take it off, you know? And I don't know why I'm still drawing cards, but I'm glad that I did. We got 3 more, and each of them came reversed. Yeah. This, along with the Ace of Swords, this Eight of Swords is such a lonely vibe right now. Just pure loneliness. Just a really painful and like, not like a diluted woe is me, but like a true realization of just how lonely things are and just how bad things can go if you aren't careful. But just a note of that, I have more context because I have a couple other cards that I haven't got to yet. But more than that, it's important to remember, like, the Ace of Swords is just opportunity, is just the pure embodiment of action and mental energy. And so that's why it has 2 sides. That's why it's a double-sided, like, broadsword, is because it can fall, and it also shoots straight up and down. Not very many cards in the tarot do that. Only a couple few, and they do that symbolically. So the sword here is up and down, and it cuts both ways. So depending on the wielder, it can really do something good right now, or it could do you psychic damage. And I think you have a lot of hope. I think we should have a lot of hope. This Page of Pentacles, like look at how lovingly they look at this pentacle, this embodiment of material, of the body, of health, of wealth, of wisdom. This person, even though the world is rough and is scary and things are overwhelming and we all have our own issues, like, at the end of the day, it's important that we come together and we create like a network of things. And I believe that it's a network that is built through art and whatnot. You are like our little tendrils that stretch out and reach for other people. And interesting that I bring art up too. So it's like, art isn't completed until it is released. Art isn't art until it's released. Art isn't art until it's consumed. And you know, the consumer could just be you and yourself. You're making art, but art has no meaning other than for its own consumption, for its own sake. think that it makes me think of simulacra. I took a deep dive on the meaning of that word, and I bring that up because it feels like there's a real jaded nature here about the simulated nature of so-called reality. Like, you've you've never been naive. You thought you knew everything since the dawn of time. It's like an extra layer of naivete now that you are where you are, because it's like, oh, I finally understand that I know nothing, and I know that I will never know, and I have never known all along. Like a real jaded in what a real jaded feeling in what so-called reality is. But I think the Page of Pentacles rests here to show you that reality is what you make it. Reality is what you make it. And also important that I said projection earlier, because also reality is what you project it to be more often than not. And I think there's an adorable pairing here with these two cards. I love the synergies between like two cards or one card, like little cards. What is not a tarot reading but the synergies between all the cards? And that's life, and that's like how I'm referring to art as a mycelial network of tendrils that are connecting the underlying currents of like consciousness and empathy. I think that all comes together and rests neatly within it. And this is where I'm getting the feeling of like being jaded with reality, with society. Like, you're being shown things that you're only focusing on the things you have, not the things you're being shown. And look at the dichotomy between the two cards. Like, one is not paying attention what is being given to him, and one is paying attention to what he already has. There's like it's a similar nature but totally different vibe, I would say. And that's just, I think there's a lesson in betwixt the two energies. Like, reality is not just what you make it, it's what everyone makes of it collectivized. But also, it's like not reality. Like, paradoxically, it's not reality. Like, we don't even really know what that means. We don't know what consciousness means. We don't know what any of these things mean. And so we have the Emperor and the Devil here, and they both came out in reverse. They both came out in reverse, along with the Four of Cups. First of all, like, there's a real jaded nature in the idea and the concepts of authority of society writ large. I think the Emperor can stand for society at large, or maybe the individual that makes up society, whereas like the Hierophant makes up reality writ large, maybe more. But the Devil reversed, it's like you're seeing, they're both reversed next to each other. So it's like you're seeing the people that you once thought were all that, and you're seeing them in a new light with this new, and this is funny, you're looking at it with the naivete, not even with an awareness. Like, you've allowed your vision, maybe not allowed, but your vision was obscured, and so instead of despairing over it, you decided to use this opportunity to look at things through a new lens. And like, imagine pulling pantyhose on your head and everything's blurry and you don't know. Well, the person that you thought was like your trusted compatriot now looks, you don't exactly. Now you're realizing that they're not exactly what they project out to you. They are not exactly what they seem, quote unquote. And this could this could reach into dangerous territory, like, oh my god, everyone's an NPC or everyone's a bot, or it could go even further, like the religious zealots, and it's like, oh, there's demons all around us, and I saw their face transform into a demon for a split second, and so, oh my god, sell your belongings. The right thing for the wrong reasons, I guess, huh? But that's where this double-edgedness, straight-upness comes back into play. It's important for you to right now to take in as much information even in your lowest state can yield. I hate my hair sometimes, huh? Don't we all? Even in our lowest states, can there be usefulness found in it, like useful tools found in the darkness. And in fact, many philosophers and thinkers and psychologists believe that's exactly where you make up the most progress, for lack of a better word. It's funny when my analytical brain can only think of mechanical terminology when we're thinking of things much deeper than mechanics and physics. Like, yeah, there is a mechanical part to it, and I think the devil here reverse is indicating to that, because it's also like the emperor is high on his own supply. Like, dad is drunk driving the car and you're in the front seat. He picked you up and from a long day of work, came to your mom's and picked you up, and you didn't know it at first, but you know something's wrong. So there's no wonder why you're feeling so jaded about all this. But I do think the importance out of that spread is to remember a little bit of falsehood, not like lies, but like a little. What's a good word for disreality? Illusion? A little bit of illusion, a little bit of reality. Truth rests in the middle. And if you are at this down low state, it doesn't mean that you can't get work out when you know there is work that needs to be done. Beautiful cards. Oh, great. I couldn't have asked for a better little spread. Okay, so now that like energy is flowing a little bit, we can go into something else and see what else they have. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to use my OG deck. Nothing beats the old artwork. But nothing, that's why I like decks like this. It's the old artwork, but it's solid gold. And let me show you the sides. It's like a Bible. It's like a Bible, when you get one of the mini Bibles. The Fool on the bottom, the beginning of the major arcana. Wonderful little... it's important to start noticing those things, even if it's an illusion, even if it's actually reality. The only truth of that matter, of that dichotomy, false dichotomy, mind you, is that it's important to notice the little things. If it's a bug in the system, notice it. If it's a synchronicity in reality, in cosmos, notice it. Pay attention, even in your low states. I am of the camp that says your low states offer the most benefit to you, But it's important to come back. And I wonder, one card just fell down. I wonder if the Hermit's gonna come up. I think the Hermit reversed might come up, because like, now that we did that golden shadow work, now we can do something a little mundane, a little brought down into reality. But the first card up is kind of it's kind of a retelling of the story. There's always going to be sorrow, no matter what. The designer of the program, of the system, of any of this, if there is one at all, is that they are just into pain. I don't know what else to tell you. They are just into pain. Maybe their main philosophy is that you can't experience goodness without pain. And with these first little cards on the table, I do think that that's what's coming up. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Four of Pentacles reversed. We also have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And what I'm seeing here is like Ace of Wands reversed. God dang, I hope Page of Wands. Okay, I'm going to stop drawing because I could draw the whole deck, although I don't think we're done. I liked what was on the bottom. I saw it for a split second. It wasn't one of my favorite cards, that's for sure. There's one card still face down, and it is upright. That's why I don't like cards that have a design that can show you if it's upright or not. Because as a as a former magician and like a card, what do you call the person on the street that's doing the which card is it? Sleight of hand master. I'm always looking at the top of the deck, and I always want to manipulate it. And isn't that so funny about us as people, as society, and about as human nature in general? And like also like the levels of knowledge there are, and like how it can almost be dangerous if someone that has the proficient skills can get access to esoteric knowledge. They can use it for their own benefit like a weapon without the person ever being privy. The biggest scam that was ever played on anyone, you know, a lot of these religions in general that don't, I think, focus like the human consciousness as the thing that drives all of this. I think they're missing a fundamental point. That said, back to the reading, I think we are missing the fundamental point that life is suffering. I think this suffering is being given to you right now at a point where the powers that be know that you're able to take it. They know that your soul is here on a mission, trying to succeed, trying to level up and get to the next iteration. You don't quite see that yet, but there's an inkling of it in you, especially with the Ace of Wands in reverse, but then the Page of Wands. So I'm going to look at those three by themselves, the Wands family. And it would be awesome if this card that I flip over right now is a pentacle. It is not. All right. We tried. Blackjack. It is the Seven of Cups, though. Let me look at this spread the way I have it set out right now. Yeah. So there's like it's back to that discernment, back to that reality. It's also speaking of a dichotomy between like good and bad, good and evil. Funny how there's not another. Why is there a further word for evil, for bad and evil, but not for good? I mean, you can do great, but that's like goodness. Is that the word you would use in that situation? I don't know. That's just funny. I think that's a funny telling, but it's also kind of a projection of like just how bad things can get. Like we only have 9 layers of hell, 9 circles of hell documented, but no one's ever been to the bottom. I don't think anyone's ever been to the bottom, and no one's been to heaven. So I know how hopeless, but I say it with a smile on my face. So I don't know. Do with that what you will. We have a reminder here in the reversed pentacle, in the reverse 4 of pentacles, that you're being given these things as tests right now. It's safe for you to view all these things as tests, because as long as you keep passing the tests, you're going to be just fine. Things are going to find them way. I think what I'm trying to say, whether you view it as a simulation and you're getting the highest score you can, so you do the best you can, or you believe that you're going to heaven and you're going to the good place, quote unquote good place, doesn't matter, because both of those things produce the same result, and that's just empathy. Be kind to people, you know, even if they're not kind to you. Just be kind. You don't have to like them. Just and that's kind of what the 7 of Cups here is saying. Like you're given the ability, you're given the free will to choose the path you want to take, but you're not allowed to know the outcome. You're not allowed to know, I guess, outcome. I don't need to really go further than you're not allowed to know what happens, but you are allowed to go down any of these routes. But you're going to have to learn to appreciate when the bad things happen, because that will just make the good things that much better. And I think we're seeing that mirrored in the Page of Wands. Even though we have the Nine of Wands reverse and the Ace of Wands, like, you're coming from a place that's really jaded, really not confident, and like really believing that the universe or the simulation is like out to get you, or like you have a bad birth chart, or like you have shitty luck, however you want to put it, like you had a bad lot in life, however you want to put it, doesn't matter, because you are so powerful and you're on fire. And as long as you are like never ceasing to believe in these things, you're never gonna fail. Also, don't expect it to not hurt. It's just gonna hurt. The shit hurts. People die. People leave. People lie. People, they also don't know that they do those things. That's the scary part. And I think that's even more evidenced by the Seven of Cups. Like, people don't understand themselves. And the people who do understand themselves are dangerous. I don't know. I think everyone's dangerous, especially when you're so vulnerable, especially when you're vulnerable. But I do think vulnerability and integrity and truth and just a real openness of the heart, of all the chakras, but the heart especially, and maybe I'm just being biased. Oh, how adorable. I love tarot. The final card is only one card I was going to pull. And the Ace of Wands made a triumphant return, but in the upright position. And how beautiful is that? Opportunity is going to flood in, especially if you have anything to do with whatever's happening in Leo. Jupiter be Jupiter. Jupiter? Yeah, I don't know. But it's not always good. It's not always good. Too much of anything can burn you out. I think that's the importance of the torch. The torch is smoldering. You know, none of the wands are actually on fire, but this one is smoldering, kind of. The clouds give it that effect. Interesting. Interesting. Opportunity everywhere. You just have to reach your hand out of the sky and grab it. Pull it into reality. And appreciate the person you become. Hey, notification about Jupiter. Oh no, pay attention to your birth chart. Let me do a birth chart reading. Hit me up. Bye.